in Tokyo. In the suitcase,
89K subscribers. Go hit him a fucking subby.
Paul McCartney was arrested at Heathrow Airport this afternoon and charged with possessing cannabis.
And McCartney spends 9 days in a Japanese jail cell, wondering if his career is over.
Do you think this experience will affect in your music life?
I'm not sure. You never know.
Fast forward to today.
No baggage on board in the plane. Leaving everything bad in the review and taking whatever remains.
Bro, even Snoop Dogg had to stop smoking loud, bro. What do y'all think happened there? I think a doctor had to tell him, bro. Something, bro. How you gonna have Snoop Dogg stop smoking weed, bro?
Opens his own cannabis shop. Rihanna posts videos of herself rolling joints. Justin Bieber smoking a bong on Instagram. Something fundamental changed, and it wasn't just a loss. Since McCartney's 1980 arrest, over 20 countries have decriminalized cannabis, and 8 more have legalized recreational use by this year. Global weed consumption doubled, with US sales alone hitting $30 billion last year. This increase in weed consumption has rewired how music sounds, how it gets made, how we listen to it. We've swapped urgent protest songs for chill background music. We turned rebellion into a brand. But here's the question that nobody wants to ask. Did this actually make music better, or did it just make everything hazier? Let me tell you a story.
Something you can say about it. Have some comment from you, Mr. Boy?
In 1976, David Bowie and Iggy Pop get busted in upstate New York with a few grams of weed.
Mr. Bowie maintains his innocence. He's never been
Bro,
arrested.
back in the day, weed wasn't even that strong. Nowadays, bro, they got 90% THC and everything, bro.
His life, and I think
Headlines scream scandal. Careers teeter on the edge. Because in the 70s, smoking weed wasn't just a vibe. Getting caught with it could end your career, land you in prison, or get you banned from countries.
We'd been told, don't take it into Japan. Very severe penalties. And I could see the guy opening my suitcase, and right on the top is this big bag of grass. I didn't even put it in a sweater or hide it.
Musicians not only couldn't carry weed with themselves, but also couldn't really sing about it. So they had to be clever. But then came Bob Marley.
The whole world confused you and you're worried and you don't have no time to think. Herb is a thing that give you a little time for yourself so you can live. If they use it.
Marley didn't hide it. He didn't code it. He made cannabis a central part of his spiritual and political message. For Marley, weed wasn't just recreation, it was revelation. And that scared establishment even more. When Marley toured, his shows got cancelled, his music got banned, radio stations refused to play his songs because weed wasn't just illegal, it was tied to the broader movement that challenged authority.
We just see them just say, no, you must use it because it make you rebel. Against what?
America's public enemy #1 is drug abuse. In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
In 1971, US President Richard Nixon's war on drugs made weed public enemy #1.
That's so crazy, bro. They made something so simple.
I do not want to go to jail for something that I can consider harmless to both society and myself.
And this
no, because it's unleashing you for the mental change, Jennifer. That's what it's doing. It's getting you out of the mental change.
Over 400,000 arrests a year by 1980.
And it is kind of depressing to know that I should be given 50 years for allegedly selling some lit of marijuana.
The government saw cannabis as defiance, tied to anti-war protests and counterculture. When influential artists like Marley smoked openly, they weren't just breaking laws, they were defying the system, and the feds hated it.
Roll me up and smoke me when I die.
Because back then, when an artist referenced cannabis, it was an act of rebellion. Dangerous, subversive, and powerful.
Nowadays, everybody falls in line, bro. That's the thing. That's why I think everybody hates the Riyadh Music Festival. Because, bro, the comedians, the musicians, they're supposed to be fighting, man. Fighting with the man. Now they're like bending down, getting to that long 6-figure cock.
Don't stay underground forever. Eventually, someone figures out the way to package rebellion and sell it back to the masses. And when the line between art and product blurs, context becomes everything. Take Thailand in 2022. It became the first country in Asia to decriminalize cannabis. But just 3 years later, they reversed that decision. Recreational weed is banned again. Why? Some say it was because of a spike in youth usage. Others blame a booming black market. So the same law, but two very different stories. So who is actually telling the truth? This is exactly what Ground News was built. Mainstream radio. Suburban white kids are now tuning into Yo MTV Raps.
Yo, dude, yo.
In 1992.
And nigga, your album is gonna be the shit on the streets. That's what you need to name your album, cuz, The Chronic.
Suddenly, weed isn't just about spiritual awakening or political resistance. It's about attitude. It's about style. It's about being cool. The album goes multi-platinum, hip-hop explodes into the ethos, and cannabis culture rides that wave. While rock stars still had to code their references or face career scandals, rappers made weed central to their identity and their art. By the 1990s, you got Snoop Dogg on TV openly talking about smoking.
And there's something about that cannabis that brings the best out of whoever you are if you tap into your spirit or why it's here.
Jay-Z frames dealing weed as entrepreneurial success. Wiz Khalifa has built an entire brand around weed obsession. Marijuana becomes synonymous with the image. Then comes Afro Man with Because I Got High in 2001.
I was gonna go to work, but then I got high.
The song is basically a comedy routine set to music. Weed isn't dangerous anymore. It's funny, it's relatable, and it's safe enough for mainstream radio. The 2010s bring mass legalization. State by state, country by country, cannabis laws changed.
I couldn't fit this award in my bag,
Not in.
but I did find this. So thank you guys very much.
As laws changed, so did the music industry's comfort level. But something else was happening too. Weed didn't just change what musicians sang about. It literally changed what popular music sounds like. Just think
That's
about the biggest
R&B.
hits of the early 2000s. Beyonce's Crazy in Love. Hey Ya by Outkast. Or Lady Gaga's Just Dance. They're kind of similar in that they're all 120 to 130 beats per minute. They're designed to make you move, to get your heart rate up, to demand your attention. Now think about what music dominated the 2010s. Billie Eilish's When the Party's Over. 72 BPM. Lord's Royals. Around 85 BPM. Even The Weeknd's biggest hits hover around 90 BPM. Music got slower, a lot slower. And it's not just the tempo either. Everything got hazier, more atmospheric. Production started favoring reverb over punch, texture over clarity, mood over melody. I think Kid Cudi pioneered the sound with Day and Night. A song that feels like it's floating in space. Tame Impala took psychedelic rock and made it dreamy instead of explosive. The Weeknd turned R&B into something you experience rather than just listen to. Lo-fi hip-hop and vaporwave become genres unto themselves.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube streams
That's
of crackling
YouTube.
beats and anime girls studying became cultural phenomena. Music that was specifically designed not to demand attention started getting millions of plays. Now here's where we need to have an uncomfortable
119
conversation.
millions.
Weed was supposed to unlock creativity, break down barriers, help artists think outside the box and make groundbreaking music. And sometimes it did. Tame Impala's Kevin Parker used psychedelics and cannabis to create genuinely innovative sounds. Mac DeMarco used weed to find his laid-back persona and turn it into authentic art.
I love to play my instruments because it makes me happy.
Kid Cudi opened up about mental health in ways that felt revolutionary. But look closer, and a different pattern emerges. How many stoner classics actually follow the same template? Slow tempo, dreamy production, repetitive hooks, hazy vocals. The sound that was supposed to represent infinite creative possibilities started feeling boring. Look at what happened to lo-fi hip-hop. What started as intimate creative bedroom recordings became an endless stream of nearly identical chill beats to study to. Because when Spotify playlists need 10 hours of content, originality becomes secondary to fitting the vibe.
Interesting. But don't you think that's the algorithm rather than the exotic?
And here's the thing about being high. It makes everything feel profound, even when it isn't. And that might be great for the listener's experience, but it might not be great for pushing creative boundaries. Do this experience with me. Like, think deeply about it. When did we stop making urgent music, angry music, music that challenged us instead of just setting a mood? Compare the emotional range of popular music from the 1970s to today. Back then, you had everything from Marvin Gaye's What's Going On to Led Zeppelin's Kashmir. And even had the Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen. These were protest songs, epic journeys, intimate confessions, all existing side by side. In my opinion, today's pop music occupies a much narrower emotional spectrum. Everything needs to be chill. Everything needs to be a vibe.
Hey, this is a vibe, bro. What you mean? You know? We're talking about a vibe right now. A late night vibe. We chilling.
We heard a genuinely confrontational song on mainstream radio. Maybe the real creativity paradox is this. We'd promised to expand our consciousness, but it might have actually narrowed our musical tastes. And that begs the question, was this all by accident? Or Was it a carefully created marketing campaign?
Legal marijuana is projected to be a $7 billion industry.
The music industry didn't just accept cannabis culture. It built an entire business model around it.
Rapper and actor Ice-T is getting into the cannabis business. Ice-T will be opening a recreational cannabis dispensary in New Jersey with a business partner.
Artists stopped just referencing weed and started selling it.
You got rappers who was rapping about the weed, now they become a CEO. It's becoming a business for them because they stood on it so long to where people relied on them. So when it became legal, their face and their brand was one of the brands and one of the faces that could actually take this business to another level.
Jay-Z's new cannabis brand, Monogram, it launches at noon today.
Jay-Z launched Monogram. Seth Rogen created Houseplant. Snoop Dogg, of course, has multiple cannabis companies. The rebellion became a revenue stream. Music festivals started featuring cannabis lounges and branded partnerships. Streaming platforms packaged stoner culture into algorithmic playlists. The platforms didn't just respond to demand, they created it. Record labels started funding weed-themed releases and marketing campaigns. Cannabis wasn't just tolerated, it was encouraged. And that dangerous edge that made it powerful in the 1970s was being sanded down and repackaged as entertainment. And the money was too good to resist. When rebellion becomes a product, is it still rebellion? The artists that made weed dangerous, who risked their careers to challenge authority, they weren't trying to build lifestyle brands, they were trying to change the world. Today, we have an entire industry built around selling the aesthetic of that rebellion without any of the actual risk or meaning. Cannabis culture went from question everything to buy everything, from spiritual awakening to consumer awakening, from challenging the system to becoming it.
Damn it. They got our ass. Fuck. Damn it. But look, bro, it is also at that time, bro, it was like 5% THC. Nowadays, bro, it's like 50 is the minimum, bro. Nowadays, you smoke one joint from cookies, you about to turn into a cookie, bro.
Really gain or lose from all of this.
As we legalize it throughout the country, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's awfully hard to have people all over the jails that are in jail right now for something that's legal.
Here we are in 2025. Weed is legal in many places. Artists can be completely open about their usage.
I need some more marijuana.
The stigma is gone, the dangers are minimal, and Mary Jane is fully integrated into modern music. So, mission accomplished, right? Maybe. But how do we go from sneaking around, getting high, and making influential music like this? To lighting it up in the open and making music like this. In my ears, at least, something feels different about music today compared to that era, when it was truly counterculture to light up. Of course, it's probably not just
now. Maybe it's gonna be counterculture to, you know, do semen retention and then, you know, not smoking at all. So you might becoming a square will be the stoner culture next. You know, being a fucking legit counterculture of,
like, I don't think it's that simplistic, but I think
that's got to be like 100, like 100 pop each of those. Like you eat one of those, and you're goofed.
Play the role. Studies have found that THC levels in marijuana today are around 30% compared to 2% in the 1970s. That's significant. So the Beatles smoking a joint in the studio were experiencing a much more mellow high than artists are today. So naturally the music would follow. And I like today's music too, and I'm hesitant to say that this is a good thing or a bad thing, but along the way, we lost something. And it coincides with this trend surrounding weed culture. We traded the danger and meaning of the underground for the comfort and commerce of mainstream acceptance. We gained authenticity but lost edge. We got more open but less urgent. And honestly, I'm not sure if that's progress or just a different kind of problem. Maybe the real question isn't whether weed changed modern music. Maybe it's whether we still want music that challenges us. These are just thoughts that I've had lingering. I wanted to get them out. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. Did cannabis culture help music evolve into something more authentic? Or did it just make...
Definitely think, bro, nowadays, bro, it's like you clogging the system with that much fucking gas, bro. Like smoking gas nowadays, bro. Even from a couple of years ago, smoking weed now compared to like 5 years ago is so different, bro. Nowadays you hear, yo, I can't think for real. What's my name? You confuse the next day, bro. Like, that's how exotic the shit is now, bro.
The things sound the same. Because honestly, I'm still trying to figure that one out. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, please subscribe.
W video, Essa Park. 89.6K so far. W video. Look, bro, I think it just depends on how much you're really boofing. If you boofing every day, if you really just goofing and boofing every day, bro, you're gonna have definitely a problem thinking. You're gonna have some stunted growth for real. But look, to each their own, right? Like, everybody got their own problems. We got Sunny D problems over here. But right now, I'm gonna stay hydrated. You know, get you a good hydration drink. You know. Because until next time, I hope you have a good night. Bye. All right, that was zesty.